want. They are jealous of me. I do what I want when I want. They are jealous of me. I do what I want when I want. They are jealous of me. I do what I want when I want. They are jealous of me.
Big vibes. Look, I'm about my pledge. I'm decked up on blue bills, and I won't stop until the cash pit look like fall leaves in the backfield. Tell her out of my face if she coming with that bull. Quit to say my piece, I'm so after school special. She brainy, but them jeans looking like paint. I gotta bless her. Let's talk a whole lot, knowing damn well they really can't press us. I notated on leaflet. I'm really up a few levels with it. Like way out the way from them. Can't see me, you can't meddle with us. E and J in my Earl Grey hood bunched up with the cheese eggs and the dumb face. No stunner shade still turned up. Been had it poppin' in broad day, that's Avi. Flower child from the sun rays, but I run fade, got a punch drunk. My providence, they don't love us. They rather treat us like an animal. They wonder why we on 8. Escaping shit, I'm off the cannabis. Middle fingers in tandem, going tantrum. Yelling swell with a big smile, young phantom. Hi mom, I'm on camera. Coming live from the mud pit, we don't take post-beat for granted. I plan to keep it stress-free, live and die young, I leave it on the canvases. Split up some with my better half, trade day like it's a holiday. My shit on dumb flame till the wheels kill, I'm on road rage. Yeah. On dumb flame till the wheels fall, I'm on road rage. I've been on a run, my third eye open. Been trying to kill emotion. Life in the slums. I've been on a run, my third eye open. Yeah. Hey, f the ceiling. I've been living out the moon roof with it. I'm in tune with my senses, kill the tune with my sentence every time. Yeah, I've been in the mood, got a feeling. What we doing, got a fuming, they ain't used to it. Rely names to the pledge when I said it, no caps, and I'm body till I see black. And I still ride for it on a couple flats, I've been down bad and bounce back. Been slave to a 9 to 5, now we booming, no stopping the digital trap. Been slave to a 9 to 5, now we booming, no stopping the digital trap. been on the run. My third eye open. Been trying to kill emotion. Yeah. Life in the slums. My third eye open.
What is up, guys? We are back with another P1 CDL pre-show for Major 2. It's your boy Apathy, aka the Donk, and I'm here with my co-host Slacked and Censor. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, Dog?
I'm doing amazing, Doug. Trust me.
I'm doing good though, Brian. I'm excited to talk some COD, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we got a lot of good segments today. We got the hot topics, which obviously we're going to be talking about a lot of things that has gone down the past couple of weeks. We got the fantasy GM, where we're going to be GMing and making some roster changes for some of these teams that, you know, maybe need a change and aren't doing the best right now. We got the trivia questions, which are always fun. We got the predictions, you know, who we think who's gonna win Major 2. That's going to be fun as well. And of course, the chat submitted questions, where we're going to be answering questions in the chat. And I know some of you guys definitely have a lot of questions here. So, I mean, let's get right into it. Let's talk about the first thing is going to be Gunless is out for Major 2. What are you guys' thoughts? Immediate thoughts.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say, Pierce, I hope you get better soon. I read his entire, 4-tweet essay talking about his situation. I knew when they said Gunless was going to sit out, I knew the type of guy Pierce is. His dedication is unmatched. He's one of the most dedicated players, and I know it's eating him alive that he's sitting out right now. And I know he wants to be there and he wants to be playing. And obviously, if he's sitting out, his health must be in a bad situation. So I hope he could get better, truly, because he's too young to have some issues that are going to make him sit out from playing. And I'm sure that he's going to do everything he can to get back on the sticks. But with that being said, he's going to be a tough person to fill in for, but Spart is one of the best players in challengers. He's one of the best flex players in challengers. I think LAG has a great substitute in Spart, and I don't see them really missing much of a beat. Spart's one of the best search players as well. He's going to make trades very easy. He's going to be flowing on the map. I think he's going to work very well with ASIM. I think Hook's going to shine. I think they're going to be just fine with Spart on their team, to be honest. I don't think they're going to miss too much of a beat.
Yeah, that's some premium gas right there. You're giving a Spart. I mean, yeah, I agree with you, Doug. I think if anyone can replace Pierce or like fill in his spot pretty well, it's definitely Spart. I think that's definitely a good pickup. It does suck kind of what happened, and I really hope he has a speedy recovery and everything goes back to normal, where he can keep competing and he fill in go back into the squad, because they've been doing better. They've been improving. Jerry, how do you think they're going to do in the tournament? Like, you think Spart's going to be good enough, or you think they're going to struggle a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're definitely going to struggle. We obviously saw like Austin's tweets. We all know how Austin is. He feels like over the last few years he's kind of been put in some tough situations, whether it's online league matches or like on this tournament now. He's going to be playing with a fill-in. I think Spart is an easy guy kind of to fill in the shoes of Gunless, and Doug and I were kind of talking a little bit about this before the show went live, but like kind of a similar situation to the Pollux thing with London. Like, you're putting in a flex player in another flex player's shoes, so it makes sense role-wise. So I guess that's a plus on that side of things. But I mean, we all know how it is. We've all competed at the highest of levels. It's not easy to kind of fill someone's shoes and get into their system. Like, Spart's a really good player on the challenger side of things, but now he's going to be going into LAG's system of how they play Call of Duty and what works for them. So it's definitely going to take some adjustments. I guess on the one side of things, I guess it's a positive that he was informed a lot sooner than kind of a last minute thing, so they can actually get some practice in, get some reps, figure out breakoffs and different things like that. So I don't know. They definitely have a winnable winners round one, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. I think if you're on the side of LAG, you're happy with who you're going up against, not like the likes of OpTic or FaZe early on in the tournament.
Yeah, like they're not playing a top S tier team, so they definitely if they can come out on top, win that, and gain some confidence, like momentum, like they can maybe have a run this tournament. But yeah, I think Spart, will fill in for the most part. I kind of agree with what you said. Like, I mean, they're gonna have some practice. They're gonna have some time to kind of work things out, and I don't know. He's either gonna kind of take over and just feel comfortable, or maybe he might struggle in their system and whatnot, and then maybe it won't go so well. So, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, really hoping for a speedy recovery for Gunless. Like, I really want him to, get back on the team and, for them to continue, because I feel like they were on a good path and a good road to improving and being a better team. So, that's for that topic. And now for the next one, who's in more trouble, Thieves or Toronto?
Can I say both, Brian? Honestly,
I don't know. I don't know about both. I probably gotta go more towards Thieves.
All right, here's the problem, man. And I'm a firm believer in this. And if you guys disagree with me, if you're watching, if you're a coach, GM, fan, player, This game is played in a way where you have one AR who is a traditional AR. All right. You get your one traditional AR, and you basically just want 3 fast players in your team. That's my opinion of how this game should be played. If you have a player who is trying to play traditional Call of Duty, and then you have another player on the team who's trying to play that way too, you're never going to win respawns. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of a player you were last year or the last 10 years. You're going to be trash, period. Now, my feeling with these two teams is that they have good problems right now because Toronto is a very tight-knit team. Obviously, amazing teamwork. Thieves, great talent. Started off the year strong. Lost every league match in the qualifiers here. I want to say Toronto's in more trouble just because I feel like with Thieves, it's really just about switching some of these roles. Whereas with Toronto, I think that the main team and the way that their team is playing this game and approaching it, and I could be wrong because they did have COVID. So one player on their team has had COVID for the past like 4 matches or 5 matches, and I know that could affect you. So I just feel like Toronto's team is just not the same team that they were in Cold War. I don't think anyone's came out and said it yet, but there's just something about the team that isn't working on this game. And I love those guys. I really like all those players, but something about that team just simply isn't working. And even with COVID and how much of a detriment it could be, because I've had COVID and I played and I know how it affected me. I hope that they can prove me wrong. They came off in the Kickoff Classic and they won it. They got 4th without winning a hard point. So they just got to figure it out. Like the best way I could describe it with Toronto, Cammy, play a little bit faster. Jamie, play a little bit faster. Kleenex and Bance, keep doing what you're doing. Hit some good pinches.
Yeah, they up their pace, right?
Figure out hard point a little bit more, man. Because clearly, if you guys can figure that out, you'll be able to contend to win championships. But I just want to say Toronto's in more trouble because for some reason, I just feel like Thieves, it's just going to be a quick change and they could just go back to that form that they were earlier in this game, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But Jerry, who do you think is in more trouble?
I want to play devil's advocate here. I disagree with you completely. I think Thieves are in a lot more trouble than Toronto. What we've seen through Major 1, we saw Toronto go 0-8 in hardpoint. They still finished top 4, placing just as good, if not better, than Thieves in that major. Then what we've seen through the online qualifiers, Toronto's hardpoint woes have still continued. They've only won 2 hardpoints out of their last 15 or 17 that they've played. They're 2-15 in hardpoint. And they're still continuing to be like arguably a top 6 team right now. And that's their biggest issue. Like we talk about it all the time. They're a 2-3-5 specialist. On the side of Thieves, these guys are 0-5 this major. There's no role or anything that is going to fix this team. They need a roster change. I don't care what it is. You switch Kenny Draza. The way it works in this game, I agree with you, Doug. You need a main AR and then 3 fast, aggressive players. But the role swap we saw, it didn't even work for Minnesota. And I know they're a completely different team. But the reason I say that is it only changes on like 2 of the respawn maps, right? Like Bow Cage, you run 3 subs majority of the time. Some of the teams run 2 ARs. On Tuscan, you see sometimes 2 ARs in some of the hills. Sometimes 3 subs. And then like your Berlin and your Gavutu, it doesn't change because Gavutu, you run 3 ARs anyways. So the flex roll is still going to stay the same. If Kenny ran a sub and Draza runs an AR, they still both run ARs on that map. So I don't know. I think this Thieves team's in a lot of trouble. Their only success they had seen so far in this game was when they were winning hard points. I think they had some crazy record at like 20-6, but the 2-3-5 has continued to struggle. And in my opinion, and you guys know this as well, when a mode like Search and Destroy is your problem, it's not an easy one to fix. Like hardpoint, you can adjust, you practice it every single day. It's the only mode you scrim consistently, and you'll play it time in and time out. S&D, bro, if you're bad at that game mode, oh man, that's a lot of things that like you got to talk about, like mid-round adjustments. We've seen Thieves get clutched on time and time again with bomb down, getting 1v3 by accuracy, ninja defuse with 20 seconds on the clock. Like that is stuff that it doesn't matter who you are as a player. You can't go back and watch. Like that's just in-game knowledge, like understanding what to do. So in my opinion, I think Thieves are in a lot more trouble than Toronto. These guys, Toronto, just need to figure out how to win a hard point, and they're a top contending team. Like I said, they're 2-15 in their last 17 hard points, and they still have been competitive with some of the top dogs in the league.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with Jerry 100%. I feel like these are definitely trouble for someone who's went on like a 0-15 S&Ds, maybe 0-20 S&D loss streak. S&D can be very difficult to fix, and I feel like it can get really complicated. You start overthinking things, and you just keep losing them. I think Thieves are in bigger trouble for sure. I think Toronto, like we know they're good. We know they're talented. They just need to work some little stuff out. Like Doug said, play a little faster, get the pace up a little bit, and they'll probably be in form and like start playing like the respawns better. But yeah, Thieves are kind of all over the place. So, well, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. And let's move on to the next topic. Is NYSL back? We've been seeing them dominate recently. Is Paul X the pickup of the year? What do you guys think about that one? Because he's
honestly
been frying.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to say that he's not right now, just considering the impact he's had on this team. It reminds me of Stanley joining Minnesota in Cold War, right? Like it just goes back to that philosophy. Clay and Krim can't team on the same team. It's really clear to me that they just can't be on the same team together. And Paul, he was my teammate right before he got called up, and games were really easy. The flow was very good. It was a lot of fun. That's the easiest way I can describe playing with Paul. He's always laughing. He's competitive. He loves to have fun. Very fast player. Fills lanes quickly. He's a perfect flex player for this game. In the beginning of the year, he was running a main sub, and I was like, Paul, get back on the flex, bro. Like, please get back on the flex. Like, that's where you belong to be.
He was good last year, too. He was really good.
He's running a main sub. I'm like, dude, you got to get back on the flex, bro. It makes a huge change on a game like this. I mean, Paul's Challengers team at the beginning of the year was with Scrappy, Tom Gravity, and Venom. It's a great team, and they were getting, it wasn't Scrap. They got top 16 in the cup. He changed to a flex. They got like fourth the next one. I mean, it's a huge difference. He joins New York. Clay's a great player, amazing player. He joins New York. He's a great flex. Bam. Now they're winning all their matches. That one change, that one role swap sometimes can make a huge difference for a team. And I think for New York, that's exactly what they needed. He's the perfect player for their team. And it's going to be hard to argue that he's not the pickup of the year. But we're still getting towards that halfway point in the season. And I expect a lot of teams to be making changes after this weekend. So I think after this weekend, we're going to see multiple team changes. We're going to see multiple different pickups. And then at that point, after we see how these pickups get picked up into the league, compete into another stage, we'll be able to really determine who was the best one of the year. But for right now, it is definitely Paul, and there's no debate in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I think I agree with you right now. I think it's a little too early to tell, though, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think we've only seen 3 matches from this New York team, and they've beaten like 3 average teams in the league right now. Like they beat a Paris team that has been in shambles with their new roster. They're 0-2, and they handle business as they should because Paris is the worst team in the entire league right now. Then they beat a Minnesota team who has continued to struggle since they made the roster change, or the role change, sorry. Then they beat a Toronto team that, again, is 2-15 in hardpoint in their last 17. So I don't know. I think it's a little too early to tell. I think Paul has done a lot for this team, but I think we all knew from the outside looking in, like you said earlier, Doug, like 2 main ARs doesn't really work in this game. We knew right away when they saw a pacing change. You could have put Scrappy on this roster for Paul, and they infinitely get better. You could have put a lot of different flex players on the team, and I think the team improves tenfold. So I don't know. I think only time will tell with this New York team. When they face adversity, when they play some of the better teams, we'll really get to see kind of what level of play these guys are at, because they're going to have a hard major run here. It's not going to be easy. They're going to play against the top competition, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I don't know.
Round 1. That should be a great match, Jerry.
Wait, that's who they play round 1?
Is that who they play round 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this will, I think you'll be able to have a good understanding of where this team is at once they play those guys, right? Like people have argued that FaZe is not the best team in the game this year or whatever, and they haven't been playing to the likes of the FaZe capability from years prior. So I think like I said, we'll see New York get put to the test early on, and if they can bounce, like if they were to fall to FaZe early, can they bounce back in a loser's run at a tournament on the LAN environment? You know what I mean? And see what they can do. So I don't know. After this weekend, we'll get a good test.
I do want to note real quick, though, it is not, even though you could say Paris is the worst team in the league, and I'll give you that, but it is still not easy to get wins no matter what. If you're in the league, getting a win is way better than getting a loss, and all New York has done is win. So regardless if they're beating up on the worst teams in the league, they're beating up on them. They're beating them. They're winning those series, right?
Shows the potential.
Yeah, if you could win those series, that means that you know that you could compete. You could hang, you have a chance. And if you're in this league, I think for anyone who's in any competition, if you have an opportunity to get first place, you have an opportunity to win, that's all you can really ask for, no matter if it's the favorite or maybe like you have you're the 3rd seed or the 4th seed. You don't have to be the number 1 seed to win everything. Just because you're the favorite doesn't mean you're going to win. So New York, they're in a great spot. And Jerry, I agree. I think when they play FaZe, we're going to learn a lot more about this New York roster.
I feel like part of it too is like it's like the honeymoon phase / like just refreshing, because like everyone knows they've had like internal problems and arguments, and they're probably going at it against each other, and to have like that new person, like completely new, probably bringing good vibes, good comms, good everything, is like it just probably allows them to play like at their full potential. And that's probably like another reason why they're doing better, on top of like everything, like on top of his skill and all that. I just like I've been in that situation, like I'm sure you guys have before. Like when your team's a shambles and you replace like just one player, but that guy who's just like, I don't know, just talented, brings good vibes and everything, just can like elevate your team.
Just a whole
completely.
Reset, right? Like we've all experienced it at some point. It's like that's why I was saying I'm curious to see how they perform when they face that adversity, because like we've all been to that point in our careers where you make a roster change, the vibe is full. Like Florida,
Yeah.
for instance, my team last year, we were an original roster. We put in Neptune. We go ahead and beat FaZe in like the kickoff thing in Cold War, and our vibe was on an all-time high. We were literally winning every scrim. Everything was right. Like the vibe was completely reset. And I think that was it for this team. Like they get a new face in. They start winning some hard points. Start winning some matches. The confidence is there. They're playing with some swagger and they're doing well. So I don't know. Like I said, I think FaZe will be the true test, and I can't wait to see if they'll continue to perform as well as they were in the last 3 matches.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if he's really the pick of the year. We'll give it a little bit more time, and we can really make a final judgment with that. But let's move on to the next topic. Is OpTic the best team in the league? They're currently on a 12-game win streak and a 14-control win streak. I think Scump's like the GOAT on Gavu too, isn't he? Like he's been
Scump's
frying
king.
so many
I tweeted
games.
it out. they played FaZe. I know they're playing Pristini, and my tweet was map 1 takeaway. Scump is king. It was a good hard point. I said Scump is king, and Pristini needs some help because this guy Pristini had only played a rank play and was top fragging on the squad. I was thoroughly impressed, but yeah, I don't know, man. From my opinion, and you guys can obviously both touch on this, I think they're the best team in the game right now. I don't think you can even argue otherwise. The guys are, like you said, on a 14-win streak in control. That's been a swing mode for a long time. Map 3 has always been a thing, whether it's CTF, Dom, Uplink, whatever it is. We all know how important it is. It basically, you never get, in their scenario, they'll never get 3-0'd ever because like they're just almost guaranteed the control right now. So I don't know. They've looked solid across the board. We've talked about Dashi a ton, and that guy is literally disgusting. He's the greatest player in the game right now. I don't think we've ever seen him on this level of play where he's like playing so fundamentally correct as well with how talented he is. Like he's making so many good plays across the map. We were talking about Scump. He's on farm. He's playing really good. They have literally the best player, I think, in the entire they have 2 of the best players in the game. They have Shotzi. That kid's POV is like a movie. Like I really do think he has the best POV in Call of Duty. Like when you watch that kid, it's just like some of the flashiest, crazy plays. And then Illy, I've said it time and time again, I think he's the X factor. And this kid's been dropping 1.2s in every series versus the best teams in the game. So I don't know. They're solid across the board on every mode. I think they're by far the best team in the game.
I'm trying to find a weakness in their game when I'm talking, and you guys are asking, is this the best team in the league? And okay, if they want to be the best team in the league, they have to be the best in everything. So I look at control, 14 control win streak. Obviously, the ticks will change it slightly. I do think that it's going to give the other teams a little bit better of a chance of beating OpTic because that team OpTic could slay. They could just get kills. I mean, you put Dashi in a spot, put him on a Gavutu where you just tell him to get kills. He's going to have if it was TDM, he would have the best KD and it wouldn't even be close. Like Brandon is the best player in the world at winning a one-on-one gunfight. Him and Celium, honestly. But when you put that team into control and they're winning that much control all the time, it's like, okay, the swing mode, the momentum mode is always going to go to OpTic because they've won it 14 series in a row. Then you look at their search and destroy, and they're bodying people. They're beating. They're making a BZ, dude. They're making a BZ drop donuts in S&D. I mean, dude, what?
Like, they have a good ass search team too. To be honest,
that's what I'm
they
saying.
have a really good search team.
Their search team, their search and destroy is the best in the league right now. Their control is the best in the league right now. Look at Atlanta FaZe last year. Why were they the best team in the game? They had the best control, the best search and destroy, and they were really good in hardpoint. Just like OpTic. OpTic's really good in hardpoint. Best control, best search and destroy. Scump's been frying. He's never not fried. He's always been a consistent, great player.
He's nasty.
Shotzi, he's been one of the most consistent players since he got smoked in the kickoff in 2020. Next 2 years of Call of Duty, he's been one of the most amazing players we've seen in the league. And I think that everything about this team is just working right. I think their coaching staff is working right. I think their players are working right. I think they're all motivated to win. Their search and destroy is great. Their control is great. The hard point, it's a flow-based game. And I think that they obviously are great in hard point too. So yeah, I definitely think they're the best team in the league. They showed me that FaZe could be beat. And FaZe has been dominant for 2 years now. So obviously FaZe is going to be looking for revenge at this tournament. I think you could kind of call this like the sequel to stage 1. Like who's going to get the better of OpTic this time? Like can FaZe actually do it? Like I think that they're both the heavy favorites to go in the finals. And FaZe can beat OpTic, but I definitely think OpTic's the best team in the game right now. And there's no question about it in my mind.
I'm just looking here even at some stats too, because they've been on a 12-win streak in the league ever since outside of the Major 1 qualifiers. They lost the 2 games to London and Minnesota, and they haven't lost since to anyone. Outside of Berlin Hardpoint, they are 15-5 in Hardpoint. The only Hardpoint that they have a negative winning record in is Berlin, which they can just auto veto and get out of any series versus any top team. as far as S&D goes, Desert Siege is like, again, they're auto veto. They don't really play it. So they have a losing record in that. Then Control, they're 5-0 on Gavutu and 10-1 on Tuscan. So it's like when you go play these guys in vetoes, like, what do you even like? FaZe, I really think is like the only team that can match up with them well, because like they're a good Bokic team, but all the other teams, like, they're scared to play on a majority of these maps. Like I said, they have a positive win record on every single one other than 2. So I don't know. They look like the real deal. Like Doug was saying, it's hard to find a negative when all the players are playing so well, and they're on a 12 winning streak going into the major too.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're the best team in the league. I think they're going to continue this like momentum and just this rampage, and they're just going to keep dominating, and probably make it to like grand finals for now. Like most majors, I mean, we'll see. Keep tabs on them. The thing is crazy. Like, I remember when they first formed, and I'm pretty sure like all of us were like, this team's going to be nasty. I was like, they're probably going to be top 3 for sure. I was like positive they're going to be at least a top 3 team. And then they started off a little rocky, and then they just picked it up and just completely like, I mean, they must have been going hard. The coaches must have been working hard. They were working hard. They're like putting an insane amount of time and effort into it. And I mean, it shows like they're just really dominant right now, and they're probably going to continue to be dominant for a little while more. OpTic's the best. That's correct.
I think a lot, like, even to touch on what you're saying, like, I don't know about you guys, but I thought they would be a top 4 team like before the game even started. But I think everyone was kind of worried about like a leader role. And now everyone's seen like Illy kind of step up in that, and he's still continuing to drop like a 1.2. I don't know. It's like hard to point out a flaw in this team, like you were saying. Right, so yeah, as long as they keep frying and playing well, they're going to be a hard team to beat. Though FaZe, I think, is the only true test this weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes for sure.
Respectfully, of course.
For the next thing, we're going to be playing a little game. This one's going to be interesting. We're going to be doing fantasy GM. What changes would you make if you were the GM for these teams? Obviously, I'm going to go first. My team is Florida. I mean, they've been obviously struggling this year. Honestly, when they were first formed, I had a feeling like, I mean, they have the talent, but just the roles, I had a feeling they were going to struggle. Wasn't 100% sure, but now, I mean, you obviously are, it's happening. I don't know. Like, that's a hard one. Obviously, I think you keep Vivid. I think you keep Awakening. I think Awakening's an animal. He's been frying. I feel like they just need like another SMG/fast player. So Skies has been pretty consistent. I think he has a lot of potential. Dave Patty is almost, he's like doing his thing every now and then. I feel like you just keep the core 3, and I would probably put in Colt Havoc for Dave Patty. I think that would make him faster. I think Awakening is a good flex. I think he can like speed it up. We've seen him drop numbers. And then if you have like someone like Colt and like Vivid, like just frying, and then obviously Skies could be like the main AR and kind of worry about that role. I think they would be like, it would definitely improve them, in my opinion.
Just go back to their old team that they've had for 2 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think they'll be interesting. That's what they've had for the last 2 years, and like,
in a game like this, it could work though. In a game like this, I think Havoc makes a lot of sense for that.
I think Havoc's really good.
Havoc's been frying. Yeah, he's been frying this year. If he hasn't been playing, if he wasn't playing that good, then maybe I think otherwise. I don't know. I feel like they need like a fast like SMG type of player. I don't know. Like, I mean, there's probably a couple in the challenger scene right now, but I feel like he's just like one of the like. I think he's trying to step up his game. He's obviously been showing it. He's been playing well. Like, I feel like you got to give him another shot. And they definitely had a system around with him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in MW they were winning some tournaments. Like, I definitely think they can do something together again.
Put Caesar back to that. I like that. It could work. Who knows? Like you said, it could work. Caesar plays a little bit of a faster main AR. You put Awakening back at the flex, and you have Havoc and Vivid running subs. It would be a good search team, that's for sure. Would help them probably drastically on that mode.
I think it would definitely help them. I don't know, like, will it make a big difference? You never know until they really like play and we see how it kind of pans out. But
I do think it's funny too that they had Havoc on the roster. They drop him, and now he's the greatest player in challengers right now. Just pretty funny to think about.
I find that very strange too. I mean, it's weird because Colt decided to like take a risk and like go into challengers. He didn't want to live in Florida and be their sub. Then he gets a starting role and he turns it down. It's like, I don't know what you're waiting for at this point. Like, hopefully in this mid-season change, you could get something, I guess, better than New York, right? Like, I just don't understand the point there, but I do agree with you, Jerry. And Brian, I agree with you too. I think that's a really good call, bringing Colt in, because they definitely need another sub. I mean, I don't know what their GM was thinking, picking up 3 ARs. I think Dave's a great player too. I don't know who needs to get replaced.
Yeah, he's good.
Team,
I mean, I just like one of the main ARs.
What are you doing, man? Like, I'd be looking at their GM, Willett, and being like, dude, what are you doing? Like, we already have Caesar and we already have Joe. Like, unless we're picking up Dave to replace one of them and then getting a sub, like, it's like, this was like probably the most easy decision to make in the offseason going into this year. And then they do the complete opposite of what they should have done, is just get a sub player, right? Like, it just didn't make sense to me. So they're definitely going to make a change in this midseason break. I think a lot of teams, I think Florida's one of them, that are going to be making a change.
I feel like too, it's also like, I think part of it's just the game. Like, I don't know if we all anticipated for the game to be this fast paced and like this hectic. Like, you obviously kind of had the idea of like, you kind of want 2 subs and like 2 ARs or like a flex and AR. That's kind of been like the roles the past couple years. But I think like the way this game plays out too, it just hurts them like having their roster. Like, they just need that like another SMG or like a very aggressive player on their team.
And that's the problem. Like, you don't really know what you're building for. So I want to give Willett a little bit of like leeway. Like, you just don't know what you're building for and like what you're going for. But the way Call of Duty's played, it's always been about speed recently in these last few titles. And we knew that we were going to be going on the Modern Warfare engine. We knew there was going to be tack sprinting and sliding. So if it's going to be like fast like that, you got to think that the game is going to be faster played. You know, like, you just got to like put some things together and feel it out. But I got Thieves on this list here, and I think this is a very simple change. And Jerry, you already said it. I think you just put Zach on the flex, keep Sam on the main, and Kenny. Okay. Just get that AR out of your hands, bro. Like, stop it. Yes, you're cracked.
SMG
yes, you could
Kenny?
YY. Dude, yes, Kenny, you could YY, get cracked, win all these fights. Like, you're nasty. We all know it. Nobody cares, dude. You're losing every match. Pull out a sub. I'm not joking. Like, if I'm Cap, I am demanding Kenny to run the sub. And if Kenny gives me an attitude, I'm benching him. Like, put him on the sub, keep Sam on the AR. Sam is clearly uncomfortable. He's clearly lost his confidence with this team. This whole team has lost his confidence in each other. And there's no reason why they should be in this situation right now. Sam, stay on the AR. That's what you're good at. Kenny, you can do anything on the map. So what we need you to do for this team right now is be our main sub, because you were, by the way, an MVP and one of the best, if not the best player in the world when you ran a sub. So please, respectfully, pull out an MP40 full time. So Envoy could start taking his routes and do his OBJ work, do his dirty work. You could be a sub slayer. Just go get kills, Kenny, and then put Zach on the flex. Zach is a natural flex player. He's not a main AR. He's not a main sub. He's a main flex. Zach is an excellent flex player. Kenny's an excellent submachine gun. Sam is an excellent AR, and Envoy's a great OBJ dirty work player. They have a great team, and they're overcomplicating it for no reason. All they need to do is put Kenny's pride or feelings to the side, talk to him about it, make him comfortable, make him happy, and tell him this is best for the team. If that guy pulls out a sub, if you're watching this LA Thieves, if you put Kenny on a sub and he never uses an AR, unless if it's S&D, and then you have Zach on your flex, your team will do a complete 180. This is free advice. You can take it or leave it.
If Cap watches this, he's going to be like, dude, Doug, shut it.
I will laugh at Cap if he says something to me in my face like in 2 days.
Wait, I will say too, the MP40 is the best gun in the game. So like, I don't know why he wouldn't want to run it. Like, it's like the auto is good. Don't get me wrong, but the MP40 is literally do it all. Like, we've seen how much better it is. So I'm surprised he wouldn't want to run it. But I don't know. Just even to play, like, you think that would fully fix the team? I feel like once you're at this point, like, I feel like it's chalked, honestly.
Internally,
like
they're in shambles.
They went 0-5. Like, bro, if they bomb out of this major and they go home, they're like, yeah, the only thing we're going to change is our roles. That'll fix us. Like, we're just going to magically get better. I feel like there's no shot. If I know Cap and know 100 Thieves made 8 roster changes last year, 8. These guys are not going to the major after going 0-5. They're going to get rounded. I'm calling it now. And then they're not going home, changing their roles and just making it like move on. Who do they play, Jerry?
No way.
Do you know who they're playing round 1?
They'll play. I was looking at it earlier. Let me pull it up real quick.
I don't know. I like
they're in losers,
though.
obviously. They play. They play the loser of, let me see, New York and FaZe. So they're going to play a hot New York team that you just were gassing up. And if they were to fall short to New York, they would be 12th place at the major, assuming New York loses to FaZe. And if New York were to pull an upset, then FaZe, LA Thieves, round 1 of losers bracket.
Damn. That is going to be a hard one.
Doug's face for a second.
No, but I like Doug's point. I feel like Kenny is freaking godlike with SMG, and I feel like I think he's uncomfortable with it. Like, he really is.
I agree. They should have just done this a long time ago, in my opinion. Like, I think they should have done this when they started 0-2 in the major qualifiers. Not now they're 0-5. It's like I
feel
doubt
like
they'll do it right now.
He's like talked about it before in the past too. Like he said it like that he feels uncomfortable. He likes having a gun that's kind of a do it all. But like I feel like he needs to get out of that comfort. Like just get uncomfortable, get used to running like an SMG, more of like a. I mean, we've seen him dominate with the gun. Like in World War II, like he was the best player at a point. Like, and
How
he
is
could
he
definitely make a
uncomfortable
big
if he's the
impact.
best player in the game with the gun? You could
I
be
feel
more
like-
comfortable if you're the MVP of the year and
There's
running
a reason
sub.
to that, and Jerry and I've talked about it a little bit. Like the what was it? The PPSH in World War II was kind of like a do it all SMG sort of like.
When
I
did
feel
you
like
say
kind of
the
challenge
MP40 is
everything.
better than the PPSH, Brian, as a world
Oh, no,
champion
no.
with the PPSH? Don't you think the MP40 is better?
Maybe up close, but
I think it was before they did this like
before
little nerf to it.
yeah.
Maybe
Maybe then.
currently. I think before they did the nerf, it was, in my opinion.
Yeah, before
I don't
it
know.
was godlike, but I don't know.
I think Kenny's just one of those players, just like Priso. Like they both start out on a specific role. They're not finding success, and they just switch to the roles. And like he's just found success in the AR, like so he just stuck with it. And like if he's not doing well with the AR, he'll just switch to a sub. Like I don't know, Priso does the same thing all the time. Like he'll
Yeah.
start out with an AR, not finding success, not doing well individually, or their team's not doing good, and then he'll just switch to a sub. I feel like Ken's the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. He said it before. Like I kind of get it, man. Like I've been in a situation like it's nice having a gun that you can kind of challenge everything, and Kenny like likes to challenge everything. So like I mean like an auto for example, like it's pretty good up close, so you can challenge at any range. Like it's not obviously like I don't know. The MP40 is really good too, so I really feel like he can definitely get good with it and used to it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with him.
All right, and unless you guys have any final thoughts on that, I think
Nah, that's good. I think we're done
Doug,
there.
Doug, you got anything? You're just swapping the roles, yeah?
It's that. I'm not even joking. Like if they were, if I'm Cap and if I'm the coach of this team, I'm gonna make sure I talk to Kenny one-on-one, make sure I hear him out, and then I'm gonna say respectfully, pull the sub out, please. This is gonna save our team. That's all they need. I'm not even joking. Like look at New York
Okay.
when they were not winning anything, they get a one-player role change, bam, they're winning all their matches. Same thing with Thieves. Put Kenny on the sub, put Draws on the flex, GG. That's all I gotta say.
All right,
Okay.
and I
I
will
like
go ahead and now play GM. For my team that we're going to be swapping around, it is Minnesota Rocker, and as Patty P would say, AKA blow it up. These guys really need to blow it up. I'm not joking. I should be getting paid for saying all this, but anyways, Minnesota Rocker. They have tried everything at this point. They have tried the route that Doug just said. They tried swapping roles to find some success in respawns, and it is not helping. I think if anything, it made this team worse. I think all four players across the board are really good individually. I think they all deserve to be in the league and are all great players. I think right now what you do, if you guys are Minnesota, is they go to the drawing board and they go to all these teams struggling and they start shopping trades. I think you start seeing kind of the value you can get out of some of these players, but first they need to figure out their roles. I think Priest needs to stay on a flex. I don't think that guy should run a sub. I don't care how good he is. I think Attach as well should. If he wants to run a flex, he can't do it on this team. I feel like right now, Doug, you were saying this earlier, like now I feel like they have two main ARs on the team. Dylan's playing really good with an AR, but he's slow. And now they have Major Maniac, who isn't some speed demon with an AR either. So they have two like main ARs in my opinion right now. And then two submachine gun players. So they needed to find their roles, I think, and then you kind of go in and figure out your trade value for some of these guys. If Dylan wants to run an AR, you try and trade him somewhere, see what you can do. I know he's been playing the best individually, but I just don't think it'll work if they're going to keep Major. And if they're going to keep Major, then I don't know. Like I said, I think Attach needs to go back to a sub. So what I would do personally for this team is I would put Priesta as a flex. I would throw the bag at Clayster, get Clayster and Priesta AR flex. Then you have Standy and you pick up submachine gun from Challengers. I'm putting in oh no, I'm just throwing something out there, but I'm putting in Cole Havoc. Why not? Someone
So
you can get.
you're gonna say Attach and Major out, Clayster and Havoc in?
Think so, yeah. I think if I can just do anything, since I'm the GM and money's not an option right now, if I can just do whatever, I'm just getting Clay. I think Clay would help them a lot across the board in multiple different modes. I think Major's a great player as well, and he could easily stay on this roster. I just don't know what route they want to go. Like this team is so weird to me. Like I said, I think just step number one is defining the roles, then trade value, and figuring out where you could swap players. Because I've seen a lot of people say Draza for Priesta. They think that they should change that. and it would make sense for like both teams. Or like, what if they did a Octane for Major Maniac trade? Octane comes in, helps Minnesota's respawn woes. Then their search and destroy core kind of helps him. Then Major Maniac goes into Thieves and helps like their 2-3-5 modes. I don't know. You could see a lot of different options here.
Have we seen a trade in the league yet?
We have not seen a single trade.
No.
I think
we're about
after
to see
this
our first
major,
one.
we're gonna see the first one ever, in my opinion. I think
so
there's
too.
like I think there's gonna be like a 3-way trade, something like that after this major. I think you're gonna see potentially like Minnesota, Thieves potentially if they were to bomb out of the major, Florida and like Seattle. You could see a mix up of a lot of different players there. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to play GM on Minnesota realistically. I just think that they first had to, like I said, define the roles and then trade instantly to some of these other teams while their stocks are still high. I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on that, but that's really like I don't even know exactly where I would go with it.
Bringing Clayster is very interesting because I think their issue is that they need a faster paced player on their team, and you're trying to bring in a player who's a main AR when it seems like they already have a Tatch who can run an AR and they have Major who's been running the AR. So there's definitely going to be a change happening with that team. It's one of the most interesting changes that I think is going to happen in the CDL. I think them and Thieves are going to be the two most interesting ones, but for Minnesota, it's definitely a weird one, and it's definitely not an easy one to figure out too. So
yeah,
that is a very interesting take. So you're saying Major and Dylan out, Standy and Priest to stay.
Two men.
I feel like they have to switch up everything. Like is what you were saying earlier, Doug.
Like
if they just swap one person, I don't think they just magically become a top 4 team like at all. I don't even know who you would swap out. Like if let me ask you, Doug. This may put you on the hot seat. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But if you could make a one person change on this team, who are you getting out of? Like rid of?
Well, they have Real on the sub, right? Like I'd give him a shot first because he's already on the payroll, and I would if he could run a main sub. So,
oh, that is a hot take.
Maybe I'd put Mike to the bench, put Real in, keep Priest on the flex, put Real and Standing on the subs, and attach on the main. I would try a couple of different options. I think they have a lot of talent on their team, including
I feel like
with
that's
Mike.
the thing. Yeah,
they have a lot of talent.
So many routes.
And like I could even I know it would be unorthodox, but I think Mike in S&D is a great addition to a team. I wouldn't even mind putting him in for search and destroy. Like they got a lot of great players they got a lot of talent on this team. They got a lot of great players that don't really have much downside. But obviously something needs to change with this team. So they got it out for them right now. It's not going to be an easy change.
I will say I feel like they're in a really good spot too, because in my opinion, I think all those players' stocks are still very high. So like I don't think anyone's been getting like smoked individually. Like you would probably say Priest has been performing like the shakiest this season so far, and I think that kid's stock is still at a really good spot. Like he could join majority of the top teams still, and people would very much take him.
Everyone knows what he's capable of. Like
I feel like they just have to.
Beast.
I think they'll get to the point too, depending on how they do at the major, where they understand that, and I feel like they're close enough and. They're smart people, dude. They know what's going on, and their coaching staff knows. Like when something's not working, it sucks, but you just have to make a change. So I think they'll be put in a similar spot to like what New York was in. Like it sucks to see Clay be benched, but it's just for the better of the team. And I think it'll be something along the lines of that for Minnesota. I'm just curious to see what route they go with it.
All right. So that's your answer right there, huh?
Yeah, I just threw some fugazi ball answer out there, but hey, that's what I'm doing. I don't know what the realisticness of it is, but hey,
I know.
You just
like
swap up 2 of the players. I don't think any of them deserve to be benched, but they're not performing as a team, so they got to go.
Yeah, they can take so many routes. So I guess we'll have the chat now vote on who they think did the better job. I mean, I feel like all our situations are a little different, but yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, dude. I feel bad too because like you guys say, like these players, a lot of these guys are still talented. They're still good. Like a lot of these players on all these teams that we think can like make a change, like they still have potential. They can still dominate, but it just when things aren't working, like you're just kind of forced to make a change and hope for the best. Oh, we gotta do trivia questions next. Okay, let me open this one up. Okay, so are we gonna do? We're gonna do this individually. Okay, so we're gonna answer this individually, and then answer. Yeah, I'm not gonna get any of these right, to be honest.
Wait, are we so am I going on this Google Doc?
Questions again.
Am I going to go on this Google Doc and just like answer them or? Oh, okay. All right, so Brian, are you ready for this?
No.
Be the first one, man.
kidding.
What is
I'm
it? What
ready.
is it? Let's see it. I'm gonna be terrible at this. Let's hear it.
I'm just gonna read the
Which
list out to you
team
guys.
has played in the most round 11s? Hint.
It is a team with the winning S&D record overall. Seattle, Toronto, Texas, Boston, and FaZe. Ugh. I want to say the answer.
I want to say
What?
Seattle.
Round 11 is a team with the S&D.
I feel like
Seattle has a lot of 5-5s.
yeah,
I'm going-
they always talk about Lamar icing up round 11. Like, I feel like it has to be Seattle low key.
I'm gonna say Texas. I think Texas had a lot of 5-5s, and I think that
I'm
they
going
win a lot of
Seattle.
S&Ds.
I'm going with
Texas.
yeah. I'm going with Seattle. It's my final answer. Get smoked, Doug. Now imagine.
Get smoked, Doug.
Oh
my
Texas,
God,
let's
it
go,
is
Doug.
Texas, bro.
He's in there.
Dude, Doug
So-
knows this. Dude, Doug's a genius.
So Texas is 4-3 in their round 11s, which is pretty good, honestly. And then the best S&D record
Better
at
than being
13
like
and 7.
Owen. Yeah.
Which team has won the largest percentage
play.
of their S&D games in round 11? That I think could be Seattle.
That is
I don't think-
Seattle.
Yeah, I don't think Texas. It's Texas, Toronto, Seattle, or Boston. I'm gonna say this one is Seattle though.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Seattle too. I mean, Lamar's always clutching around 11s. I see the tweets all the time. He's the Iceman. He's the GOAT. Like 1v3 Ninja Diffuse. I don't know. Like it has to be Seattle.
How do they keep letting him get away with it too? That's the thing. It's
I'm going
crazy to
Boston
me.
Breach just to throw it off.
The breach round 11.
No, I don't want to triple. Yeah, just Boston Breach got the ice. I don't know because it could realistically it could be. I don't know. Like a couple of these teams could have done it.
It
We'll
could
see.
be. Yeah, they're all like yeah. I'll go with Seattle though. Doug and I are going with Seattle.
Like it.
I think it has to be Seattle, honestly.
Let's go. It's
All
Seattle.
right, so the
I
answer
knew it,
is
bro.
yeah. 4 of their 8 wins are in round 11. They're 4-1 in round 11. That's really really good. Next trivia question here. OpTic Texas is 14-1 in control with 6 of those wins not coming in round 5. Which other team has the most control games without going to round 5? Atlanta, Florida, Paris, London, and Boston. I want to say London for this one, guys, because I don't think Atlanta's been. It could be Atlanta. I think it's one of the two, but I don't think it's Florida. I definitely don't think it's Paris. And I don't think it's Boston either. I think it's London. If I'm gonna choose one of these teams, I'm saying London, boys. What are you saying?
I'm saying FaZe just
What are you
because I think
saying,
they're
bro?
the most dominant team outside of OpTic, so I think they're a good guess on winning the most control games without going there. I'm going FaZe.
I'm gonna go with Doug. I'm going London. Something about those London boys. They're nasty.
What is the answer for that, Paul? It is Atlanta. Okay, so 6 of their 9 wins have come before
Jerry's a
round 5, the
genius.
lowest percentage. So, I mean, it makes sense. Like I thought it was one of the two. To be honest with you guys.
Oh yeah.
I feel
After
like Atlanta
stage
was a
one,
safe pick.
these trivia questions are a little bit easier than last episodes. But after stage 1, Seattle had the most 0-point hills in hardpoint at 12. But there's a new leader. Who? NYSL, Toronto, Minnesota, Paris, or Thieves? Do you guys understand this question? Seattle had the most 0-point hills in
0-point
hardpoint.
hills.
So 0 points on like a certain hill, like through the map. I think, right? So now there's a new leader. I mean, it's got to be New York or Paris.
It's
It's not
12 of
even a
them.
question because those guys both had. Actually, it could be Toronto as well.
that
These
was
guys
Toronto
all
had
have
some
right?
bad hills,
terrible
right?
hardpoint records. I'm gonna go. New York's one after stage 1.
Maybe New York.
But the New York did get fried in a lot of hard points, didn't
Yeah,
it?
New
But
York-
yeah,
New York
those
went on a
teams
huge
have been
streak.
terrible. All of them have been bad at hardpoint. Even Minnesota hasn't been good at it. I don't know. This
Yeah,
is
but
actually kind of tough.
I think Minnesota definitely got some points in it. Like,
I think this
It's
is kind
just
of like
the
a big
specific
question.
hill.
I think it's New York because no, because then they went on a big win streak with Paul. I'm assuming it's counting the matches with Paul, and then they haven't lost a hard point. I'm gonna say Paris. Let me get Paris on that, man. I'm gonna take.
I'm gonna go.
Paris.
I'm gonna go Toronto Ultra
I'm
just
gonna
because
go
I just said
Toronto,
earlier
too.
they're 2-15 in hardpoint. So I don't know.
yeah, I think Paris
they-
has stepped it up too a little bit. Like, I know they're not. I mean, they've definitely improved. It is Toronto.
go.
Let's go.
They have
Now they have
27
27.
0-point hills. What? They have 11 on Gavutu alone.
That's
Oh, no.
That's really terrible.
That's not right.
Last trivia question: which team has the lowest win rate when getting first blooded in SND? Guerrillas, NYSL, Seattle, Paris, Thieves. I think this is gonna be unanimous, right?
I know which
Lowest
one.
win rate.
Yeah, the lowest win rate when they get
When-
first blooded. I'm
When,
gonna
you
go
get,
with
when getting
Thieves.
first blood. So
Like getting first blood, yes.
yeah, so like whoever got first blood, but they still lose the round.
I gotta go with
I
Thieves
know
because
I'm
of how
going.
bad they've been.
I'm going with. I'm sorry, but I'm going with LAG.
I'm going LAG.
Is it?
I don't
Do you
know.
guys know something I don't know?
I don't
I
know.
just think
This was
I
like
feel like
Oh, it is Thieves.
Thieves? Wait, I didn't even see Thieves on the thing. It said Boston Breach for me.
Nah, I said LA Thieves.
No, LA Thieves is E. It says answer for question 5, LA Thieves, while also having the second lowest FB first blood rate. LA Thieves only wins 70% of rounds with the first blood. That's the worst feeling.
LA
dude.
Thieves didn't even show up for me. I would have put them. It said Boston Breach on my thing, so I didn't even
That's
know
why.
where it was.
That's why I said unanimous that they were going to say Thieves. You're saying your own team, Brian? You're saying your own
Hey,
team?
listen, man. I was spectating some stuff. I wasn't happy with it. But they picked it up.
Oh, Jesus. Let's go. Thank you guys for voting for me.
Of course,
as the winner
Doug
of the
didn't
GM,
change
man.
the roster. He didn't do any hot take. He just switch roles.
We know how it goes, man.
People were happy with the switching role stuff, bro. They loved it.
I did throw something out there, make it interesting.
COD League, when you need a GM and I'm done playing, hit me up. I'll save you guys.
Doug won't change your roster. He'll change
All
your
right,
roles.
guys, but on to the next thing. We're going to be doing Pick'ems Major 2 bracket. This is going to be a fun one. The last time we did this, I had LAG get in top 3. I know we're going to take our time with this one. Oh, my God. There's so many matches.
All right, so do you guys want to start at the top with winners round 1?
Yeah, let's start with winners round 1. OpTic versus Seattle.
Let me hear what you guys got.
Oh, wait. Do I have to log in? Oh, I have to log in real quick. Hold on. Let me hide this.
I want to hear what you guys got. I've already filled out a pick'em bracket. So
Seattle's winning 3-2.
I kind of want to hear what you guys got to say. You really think it's going to be 3-2?
Listen, bro. Like I thought Seattle was gonna win too, and then like they just keep bombing out. These guys aren't beating them. We just gassed up OpTic.
We just gassed OpTic so hard, bro.
They got no losing mode right now. These guys look
Listen, Lamar's
incredible.
icy though. I say OpTic's gonna win 3-1 though, like low key, like
Nah, I think it's going to be a 3-0. I think OpTic's going to win this 3-0. I think.
All right, let's just put it 3-0, bro. I'm sorry, Seattle. You guys are gonna get smoked. It is what it is.
I'm going. I think OpTic. I'll give Seattle like a map. I
feel like Seattle. They were looking rocky, but then it picked it up a little bit. Like, you don't think they're gonna win one map? Like,
they're definitely gonna win a map because it's literally just the start series of like the weekends. First series.
Sir, exactly.
Get
first
the dust
series.
off for OpTic. I'll give them a map. I don't know. I could see a 3-0.
We'll say 3-1. Lamar's gonna clutch a one map at least. I know it. Accuracy, of course.
I just truly think that. It's no disrespect to Seattle. It's just right now. OpTic to me is just. They're just firing on all cylinders, man. Like, Seattle could come out and do something. Obviously, they're a great team in my opinion. But I mean, this OpTic team is just
okay. If OpTic doesn't 3-0, you got to do 200 push-ups and record it and post it on Twitter. Okay,
I'll do them for free.
Oh, okay, my bad, Doug. Odd flex. New York versus FaZe.
Come on now.
Is this a 3-0 FaZe?
3-0 FaZe.
Yeah, we got to get FaZe 3-0, bro.
I got that at 3-1, but I have FaZe.
Oh, that was a 3-1 though.
I don't think New York's been put to the test.
I think that these teams are a little bit closer. I feel like Seattle and OpTic are a little bit further apart right now.
I kind of agree with Doug. I think the pick up of Paulex, like, I think they're going to take a map. They're definitely going to do something. They're going to show some life a little bit.
Map. We're bound to see the OpTic FaZe like winners round 2. Like, it just the COD
there it is already lined up, man.
Yeah, it has to happen. Everybody wants that to happen.
Everyone wants it. COD wants it. Like, the fans want it. Players want it. We're good.
Then we got London versus Mutineers.
London versus Mutineers. Yeah,
I'm giving that 3-1 to London as well.
The London smoke show, dude. I think London
is going to be a hot.
I think London's the third best team in the game right now, so I just think they handle business. I don't know. It's going to be 3-0, 3-1. Like I said, I don't think Mutineers have looked that good. Their map pool is so
I'm going to see for this one. I'm going to say 3-0. Yeah.
3-0?
Yeah.
I think that London is. I think literally half of this league is making a roster change after this weekend. I think Florida's one of those teams. I think London is one of them that's safe. This next match, Breach and LAG, these two teams are kind of in similar spots to me. And I had Breach winning this 3-2 before Spart, and I still have them winning this 3-2, even with Spart on the team. I don't think anything's going to change.
I completely agree with you. I have this going all the way to game 5, but I think that LAG, I would put them up higher potentially if they had Gunless, but I think that Boston's going to capitalize on Search and Destroy. They've looked really well throughout the Stage 2 Stage 2 qualifiers. They went 4-1. Their only loss was to London, who arguably is the third best team right now, and Nero apparently was throwing up the entire time. So I got Boston handling business here. I think they're going to go on
I
to
will
play
say
London.
this. It is a 3-2. I'll give it to Boston. But if they had Gunless, I think it'd be flipped.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
We'll give it to him. We'll give it to him.
I think it's too hard to put a film. We all know that.
Yeah, no, it is, and that's why it is what it is. Then for Seattle versus Minnesota for the elimination round 1.
This is going to be a grueler of a series. I don't know
This
if you
is
guys agree
tough.
with this. I got Minnesota winning this one 3-2. I think they are bound to get a series win at their major. It's their home major.
It's their
Literally,
major.
we've
Yep.
seen the Minnesota fans like. I don't know. I feel like that gives you some sort of like extra firing power, even though I don't think Minnesota is like a top dog team. But I feel like they're going to come out with some extra motivation. They got to get at least one series.
I agree with you, Jerry. I think
agree.
you're right. I think you're spot on with this. I think both these teams are in really similar spots, and these matches could really go either way. I really think a lot of these could be coin flip matches, and this is one of those for me. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think when OpTic won the last major, it definitely gave them a little bit of extra you know, like when they went, if they were down 2-0 to FaZe in Atlanta, do they complete that reverse sweep? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like the fans definitely help out a lot. It gives you that little extra push. It definitely helped OpTic get to their highest level, I feel. And with Minnesota as well, they're going to be feeling very similar to how OpTic did in the sense of we have the home court advantage here. It will matter. And Minnesota is an icy team, just like Seattle though, right? Like they're both kind of icy. So I think it's going to go game 5, and I have Minnesota winning it too, Jerry.
Yeah, I completely agree with you guys. I think home court advantage is OP, and we saw with OpTic. Their crowd and their fans. I think they gave them a little bit more motivation and energy, and they were able to absolutely fry. So Minnesota takes it 3-2.
Subliners Thieves. I'm gonna say 3-1 NY.
I said this
like that
earlier. I think that New York handled business here, and I feel like Thieves haven't changed anything. They're in shambles, and
They're struggling.
The way it's been recently in the league, it's like if you're struggling online, struggling wherever, like it just continues to travel with you. I feel like stuff doesn't change overnight anymore. When you're in a slump, you're in a big one, and I think Thieves are gonna bomb out right here.
I agree. Florida versus Paris.
This is a coin flip series and a half. I don't know.
No, Paris has been playing better though.
Yeah, they have, but then they're playing this is like an 8s lobby, in my opinion. Like you got Temp and John who have been absolutely frying. Jimbo's finally been going like flat to a 1.0 KD, and Paris has looked way better. They've went game 5 versus like every team they've played, and they're clutching up now. But on the side of Florida, like I don't know, their map pool hasn't looked great outside of Bokij, but I think Paris is a team that could potentially square up on it. I don't know. The series for me is literally kind of so weird.
Yeah, like a coin flip. Like we'll see what kind of happens. This I guess depends who what team plays better that day.
I think. Oh man, I don't
say
even
Florida
know which
takes it.
I want to say Florida takes it, but then like you could just have a crate like I said on the lights on Paris side. Like John and Temp have played so good.
Exactly.
Like I could
and
easily
I think
see
Tom
them
was a
taking
great like pickup. Like I think he's allowing them to play more to their potential, and like they're more comfortable probably. So I don't know. And you know Juanito on land, John's a nasty, like the guy's a beast. Temp's been competing for a long time. Like, I don't know. I think they're gonna take
Are we
off
picking
Florida.
Paris? Are we taking Paris over Florida here? Is that the consensus?
I think I would. Maybe like a 3-2. I think it's still gonna be a good match.
I got Florida here, but you guys go Paris. That's fine with me.
No. Let's all agree on one together.
Yeah, let's all agree. Let's all agree. I don't want to say
take Paris here.
What do you think, Doug?
I really agree with Jerry. It's really a coin flip matchup. I'm pretty sure I put Florida beating Paris, and I think it was going to be a close series.
I'll be honest. In my own pick'ems, I have Florida winning this one. I think it's going to be a grueler of a series, and easily it could go either way. I don't think either team is that dominant on any of the modes. So it's going to be who comes and plays. Like I said, I think Florida's going to win. That's what I have. I think
either of these teams are going to lose in the next round. I think we can all agree on that. So let's put Florida up to the next one. We got LAG
Florida,
versus...
but if Florida loses, like I need 100 pushes from you, Jerry. I want a video too.
Yep, sounds great. This series
LAG
is an easy
versus
one.
Toronto.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
I don't want to say this because we're on the P1 LAG podcast, but listen, man, this is gonna be another grueler. This is gonna be a 3-2 loss for LAG, and we're gonna see all the lose full tweets from the players. They're gonna lose. They're gonna get Nesloed in the series. It's gonna be the 2-3-5. Toronto's gonna win all 3 of the middle of the pack matches, and they're gonna take LAG down. I think LAG literally goes map 5 both series, and the winners round 1 and the losers round 1, and they unfortunately fall short at this tournament.
I can see
I
that.
don't want to say it. If Pierce was in the mix, like they were looking good with Pierce.
They were.
But I just don't think that it's possible to turn stuff around. Like, I don't know. It's hard, dude. It's so hard.
I agree. It is what it is, man. Hopefully, they can get back. Wishing him a speedy recovery, man.
Scroll up. Let's do winners round.
Winners round 2. OpTic versus Atlanta FaZe. This is the battle of the Giants.
Taking OpTic in this 3-2.
I got OpTic 3-2 again in this. I think OpTic goes all
Right
the way to
now-
finals again. Again,
Yes,
they've yet to
sir.
lose a series. They'd be on a 14 win streak going into this match on a 16 win streak in control. They like I said, in this series, whoever wins the control in that series, in my opinion, wins this, like the whole thing. If FaZe were to upset
Yeah,
and
I can see that.
stop their control record, I think it's literally going to come down to that, because the hard points are 50-50, S&D's 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I got OpTic though 3-2. And who's
Me
the next
too.
one? London Breach.
London and Breach.
Shoo.
You've been gassing up London, but you have a lot of you have high hopes for Breach too. So
Let me take Breach 3-2. Moving on to the winners finals versus OpTic, man. OpTic versus Breach. Green versus green, baby. Let's go, man.
I disagree.
that is pretty cool.
I like it though. It would be sick. Zenny
Would be
playing
sick.
against
Boston
OpTic, like
Breach.
that'd be
Nah,
super
Jared
cool.
thinks London's
I'll be
just
honest.
looking
I
too
think
good.
Boston's right there, but they're just a little short, bro.
Just a
Like
little
I
short,
think,
yeah.
I think the rookies just got a little bit more to learn and create a little bit more consistency on land. I think London's gonna
Yeah.
handle this one, bro. They look good.
It's gonna be like a
on land.
3-1.
I think it's gonna go to game 5. To be honest, I think
I will
London's
give them a
just gonna
3-2.
ISO.
Yeah, Breach is they're good. They're looking pretty
Both
good.
teams are really good. I think they're the top 3, top 4 team right now, both of them. So
Elimination
Okay.
round 2, Rockers, Subliners. I'm taking NY in this one again, 3-1. I'm having
Me as
NY
well.
making a nice little run here.
Me too.
I
Yep,
agree.
Same
I
here.
got New York handling business, and what's that put us? Florida, Toronto.
Florida and
Toronto
Toronto.
wins this one. Florida, Europe, batter. I think.
Yeah,
Three-
Toronto's-
what is it, like a
Toronto's moving
3-0?
I think the hard point will still continue, but they'll probably take a hard point versus
I think
these
they'll
guys.
take a map.
I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be like a 3-1, 3.
We'll say a
Bro,
3-1.
Toronto. A lot of Toronto series are gonna go all the way to game 5 on some of them if they don't fix hard
Jesus, a long tournament. Holy.
Yeah, so we got the lower bracket matches are going to be really good. We got the winners bracket.
The winners finals now.
We could do winners finals now. I think we're all going to say OpTic here. I think
Yeah,
everyone's
OpTic.
on OpTic, right?
We'll say
I
like
think, I
3-1.
think London takes another map. Like it's literally going to be like almost the same thing from the last major, in my opinion. London's going to take like one of the opening hard points, and then OpTic will just handle business. What's that take us to
Agreed.
Breach, New York?
Breach in New York. This is gonna be a
dude,
battle.
I had Breach finishing 3rd, and I had New York finishing 4th. So this is where my bracket's going to get weird if we're going to do it this way. But I still think Breach is going to win this.
I think
They play
Breach
New
win
York.
this series. I think they finally, they haven't beat New York this year yet, right? I think this will be the 3rd time's a charm. New York, Boston lost to New York with their original roster twice. So I think Boston finally win this. I
You
think
don't
it's gonna be
think, but
a-
like if New York
3-1,
gets this
3-2.
far, like you don't think like they'll have momentum, maybe some confidence under the belt, and
I don't
like
think their map pool is that big. I feel like they've played a lot of the similar maps that they've won in their last few series, and I
that's
think
gonna
teams are
hurt
going to
them.
understand that. And as the farther they go into the tournament, teams are going to be doing their homework, getting rid of Desert Siege S&D, and it's going to make for a more competitive series.
I'll give New York a map. And then we got FaZe versus Toronto Ultra. We used to see this all last year. Who takes this one?
FaZe
I think
handles
it's gonna
business.
be tough for Toronto in this match, man. Like I think they're a good team, but I really see FaZe winning this 3-1
Yeah,
or
FaZe is just
3-0.
definitely looking better than them right now.
It's just the way this
Let's say
game is
3-1.
playing out. I could say 3-1 as well. It could go game 5. I mean, Toronto's still a great team, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, I
just
don't
feel
think
like
they're
the matchup's not the same as it was in Cold War, in my opinion.
exactly. Yeah, I don't think they're in form right now, and like they need some work. So I would
I
say
think it'll be
they'll
a
probably
close
like a 3.
3-1 too. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So
And
what's
then,
up? Boston
w-
FaZe.
Oh yeah, Boston FaZe.
Boston FaZe. I think FaZe handles business, and Boston falls just short. I don't think they can
It's
beat
So
gonna
they're
be
them.
a
gonna.
real-
So we have Boston going from top 6 to top 4 at this major.
Yeah, they basically
That's
just jump.
improvement.
I think that's right where they are. I literally think they're a top 4. I think they're the 4th best team right now, and I
I
think
think
that's
FaZe
exactly
is just
where they
gonna
stand.
come out hot and just like 3-0 them, honestly.
I feel like FaZe just has a lot to prove. They're gonna be pissed off. Like they're gonna
Exactly.
fall just short to OpTic again in the winners bracket, and they just handle business through the losers side. In my opinion, I think they beat Boston pretty convincingly here. I think it's like a 3-1.
I feel like I think
We'll give
FaZe.
them a map.
I think we could all say, and then FaZe is going to play London. Even with this series here, like I don't think much is going to change. Like I would be pretty shocked, honestly, if FaZe isn't going to be in the finals versus OpTic. Like if the finals is
Yeah.
OpTic FaZe, I'll be very surprised, to be honest. Just looking at how
Same.
these games have been playing out, the matchups with
It's
these
definitely
teams.
possible, but I don't know.
This to me is one of the most predictable tournaments to like look at and say, oh, OpTic FaZe finals. It's probably going to go down on the wire like it did last time. Even though OpTic won it 5-2, they did have that controversial Gavutu control, which I think all of us know FaZe was going to win the map, which would have made it 4-3, which makes things very interesting because a 4-3 lead in a best of 9 is not that substantial at all. That's just 2 maps, and you're playing 2 different game modes in those 2 maps, so you don't even know. Like, I think this is going to be really. Go ahead, Brian.
I just feel like they like FaZe, like they obviously are gonna play winners, well, round 1 versus OpTic, or round 2, right?
Round 2, yeah.
Yeah, like it just like they're going down to losers. Like I don't know. I feel like they can definitely lose to like maybe London or Breach. It's not like there's a high chance, but it's definitely possible. Like I don't know. If FaZe, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I
We'll
think
see
FaZe
what
has a more
happens.
likely chance to lose to London than they do Breach.
Yeah, I think they're gonna beat Breach, but I think London might come out of nowhere and like actually beat them here. But like I don't know. I think we're obviously gonna take FaZe here because we know what they're capable of. They're obviously disgusting, and we know like they're kind of the better team at the moment. But I'm just saying in general, like we definitely can see an upset happening.
FaZe
I'll be honest, bro.
Finals,
The COD gods won it. Yeah, it's just gonna be FaZe OpTic again. It's just gonna happen.
3-2, and then FaZe win 7-0.
I think OpTic went 5-4. We go all the way to 9.
Dude, Jerry, we are seeing
like
this eye
that.
to eye. I think it's gonna go 5-4 as well, honestly, because I think
I think the last one was due for it, but there was some fugazi that happened that we don't gotta
OpTic
get
are
into.
champions again.
Well,
Back to
OpTic
back.
is better than FaZe right now, but I know FaZe could beat OpTic, and I know FaZe is pissed because they've been number 1 for so long. And
No, they're not.
if you're like anyone who's in the COD league is very competitive, and you have some form of an ego, you have to think that these guys on FaZe, being as competitive as they are, being as dominant as they've been, to have somebody else taking their like throne has to mess with them. Like that has to get them like, it's got to get them fired up, man. Like I want to see these guys. I really want to see these guys bounce back and make this a hell of a finals, because I think it's shaping up to be a close series. Because OpTic is better, they are, but FaZe definitely could take them. But I agree, Jerry. I think this is going to go down to a game 9, and I think OpTic is just stronger than FaZe in Search and Destroy right now.
Yeah, I
with
agree.
you.
And
It's
OpTic
gonna be a
takes the
grueler.
W.
It's gonna be a fun series. I think anytime you see these two battle it out, it's gonna be a crazy series. Literally gonna come down to minimal mistakes from either side to get the win.
And we'll see. The fans submitted questions. Here, I have them in my Discord. Let me move this here.
I can read it for you if you need it to. I can see it.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah, it says from Lebdiri, he said, with Pristini playing well versus OpTic last weekend, which team or teams do you think should take a chance on him post Major 2, considering there would be a month break and the Pro-Am for him to learn the whole game before Major 3 begins? I'm going to be honest here.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That
respectfully, I don't think he should
Can't do anything.
get a spot at all. I think Pristini's a great player. I think he has not put in any time that any of these amateur players have put in. I think there's a lot of players and challengers that are thriving and that rightfully so deserve a spot over Pristini. And I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but
No, you're right, Jerry. Like I'm a player who I joined New York Subliners as a substitute because of my brand in year 1. And obviously, like I wanted to play, and I was willing to work in challengers. I just wasn't able to. And there was like an opportunity at the LA event where they could have subbed me in for Happy, and people were telling me that I deserved the spot and all this stuff. And in my mind, I'm like, I didn't put in all the time that I should have put in, and I know what it is to win at the highest level and the amount of time that needs to be put in. And if you're cheating that time, it doesn't sit right with others around you. And on the flip side of it, like I think Preston surprisingly played, even though he had like a 0.86, which isn't that good. Dude, he was actually surprisingly playing very well. For someone with no practice to come in and play the way he did, there's no doubt in my mind Preston could still compete and win if he wanted to. But the fact he hasn't played this game and hasn't even tried to play in challengers to me tells me that he's not really about winning. Because if you really were about winning, you would have put in the effort to play. Maybe you want to take a year off, and that's fine because I've been there before too. But I even DM'd him after. I was like, dude, you played really well. And if you want to like actually compete, you should definitely play challengers. Like you should definitely play. You should definitely grind it out. And get those reps in every day. But I don't think any teams are going to pick him up because he did decent versus OpTic in one match. I also think the Pro-Am is a 4-team invitational where you have to get top 4 at Minnesota, and then those 4 teams would play the 12 league teams. So he's going to have to play at Minnesota this weekend, get top 4 in order to be invited to that. So he's not going to be in that Pro-Am either. But yeah, Preston, he's got to go back into challengers and compete because this league, there's only 12 teams. I was talking to some of these players that have really high stocks that potentially are going to get benched or moved around and talking about challengers with them, and they don't even want to do challengers. And rightfully so. Like I understand it because you have this ego and you're at this highest level. But dude, I mean, times are changing, man. You get benched, you get dropped. Unless you got something guaranteed, go into challengers, get a good team, keep playing, stay ready. Do what Major Maniac did last year. I think he did it right, and I think a lot of other players should follow suit.
I feel like part of it too, real quickly, is like I feel like He's obviously hasn't played at all, like you guys said, and like he's just gonna be behind in how to play the game and like what's the correct way to play and all of like. Even though you can kind of pick up on stuff fast, he's just going to be behind. It's going to take him a lot of time to learn everything and adapt when there's players who already been grinding, like Doug said, like challengers and who've been putting so much time and effort into it. So it just wouldn't make sense for, a team to kind of pick him up.
I'll flip the roles real quick so I can say this about myself and you, App. That would be like me or you trying to join a pro league team in a month, and we haven't played the game at all. All we played is rank play. That just doesn't make sense. You and I are both realists. We both understand that we don't deserve a spot in the league without playing or grinding through challengers. Exactly. So that's just not how it works. So, I mean, I don't think if I was in that position, I wouldn't even want to try and join a team or take an opportunity because I wouldn't be fully prepared.
Be realistic. Yeah,
exactly.
Next question from Matt Ace 1122. If all three of you teamed with anyone in the CDL right now or free agent, how far would you think you'd make it this major?
Team with anyone in the CDL right now?
We would get dead last.
Wait, is he saying us three on a team or no? Anyone?
Yes,
all three on a team.
Yeah, if we all teamed with anyone CDL right now, we get last, right?
So say we pick up like we need an AR. So say we get Celium or Dashi, we're getting dead last, and we're probably not winning a map. It doesn't matter. Like we're not winning a map. I can't save you guys. Celium can't save you guys. Dashi can't save us. Like we have zero.
I mean, it's like what we just said. We don't really play the game.
We're getting 11th. Trust. I know who we're beating.
We're getting one win.
I promise, Doug. You think we ain't getting 2 searches and 1 respawn with the greatest player in the game? You're tripping.
I don't think
I'm getting a map by myself. I promise you. And if you're not good for a map, then like we're going map 5, and you two are both absolute world champion 2 times. Like we're beating one team. I promise.
Look, I've won a lot with Brian, and if Brian put in the time, I would love to duo up with him again and win. But look, man, I just got to be real, bro. We're losing every map. We're not winning a single map. It's not going to be close.
I think you're
full will be lost.
We're getting 1 map. There's no way.
You can't cheat the time. Y'all can't cheat the time.
has never played. Pristini has never played, and he literally was going positive with the greatest.
He's joining Atlanta FaZe. I mean, the game is easy.
That is a good system.
Y'all haven't played this game. I'm going to be spawning and getting spawn trapped all day,
He was gunning Scump, Illy, Dash. I saw him win multiple gunfights.
I genuinely might drop 7 playing with y'all. Like, that system is going to be horrible. Like, we are going to be getting smoked,
whatever, who cares? This would never happen, but I'm getting a series. Like, with or without you. You can sit on the bench. I'm getting a series. I'm getting 11th at least.
All right, let's move on.
Sure. We're getting smoked regardless.
We're getting 11th, maybe 12. From Robert237. Do you prefer the BO9 that we current have now or the Legacy 2 best of 5s?
Absolutely not. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are, but 2 best of 5s is a million times better. It's way more engaging. It has so much more suspense on the series. The only thing I will say is they like to see all the maps in a best of 9 instead of seeing 2 best of 5s of the exact same maps back to back. But I think I check out in a best of 9 in my opinion.
I think that helps also the winners team, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like the best of 9. Best of 9 is really cool in theory. And as like a viewer, I don't mind watching it, but as a player and a competitor, to come from the winner's bracket and not have an advantage besides for a veto would make me feel infuriated. Like, Brian, we've won 1 from winners, 2 from losers. Winning 2 best of 5s is really freaking hard to do.
It is.
And it's a grind, dude. And you have to earn it that way. Like, dude, when we won those 2 best of 5s twice, like, it's the best feeling, man. Like,
it is the best
feeling. When you go through that grind and like there's so much on, like that's what it is. It's the fact that if you lose that first best of 5, you're done. And then not only if you win the first one, you think that the second one's just going to be easy. It might be even harder. Like in those finals, those second best of 5s, I thought we had them on their neck, and I thought we were going to just, win the series and choke them out. They were fighting. They were scrapping, man. And it's not easy to close teams out, especially in finals. And I think it makes it way more entertaining when you have the 2 best of 5s. And it makes it a lot more fair in terms of a competitive standpoint, because we're used to, if you drop down in a loser bracket and lose a series, you got to come back and beat that team that's last standing twice. And that's the rule. It's always been. It's always felt right. As a winner and a loser, if I'm coming from the losers bracket and I got to win 2 best of 5s, it didn't feel wrong for me to do it that way. As the winner from the winners bracket, playing the team from the losers, I never had to lose once and then beat them the second time. I always beat them the first time around, but it would feel right for me to like, okay, I lost that first series. Let me reset and play the second one here. And I think it's very easy for fans to follow. I don't know why we're playing these best of 9s right now. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Doug. Let's move on to the next question. From Grievous Mevius. What goes into the decision making when creating a roster? We've seen over the past couple seasons where some teams focus on star power compared to chemistry and vice versa? Also, how difficult it is for teams to make a roster change mid-season?
You can answer let's answer the last part first, guys, and you guys can answer that better than me because you were on league teams. Is it hard to make changes? Because you guys both had that Seattle situation in MW.
Yeah.
And then I even look at you, Brian, in Cold War. Is it tough mid-season to make changes? Like, can't you just go to management and say, look, we need to get this guy. He's a free agent. Let's get him or whatever. Like help me out here. Like, how hard could it possibly be? Because you guys seem to have an issue with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard, right? Like, I think what you just said earlier, you've never seen a trade in the league ever. Like, in 2 full years of COD, we've never seen one trade. I just know the business side of things. It's very, very hard, right? Like, you have players on different contracts as far as salary goes, and how much money these guys are making. You got to kind of level that up. You obviously have a budget as an organization, as a team that you're willing to spend. Some players are on a lot more, some players are on a lot less. So that's very hard. You also see a lot of blockbuster trades where it's like just doesn't make sense. Like, people are always trying to trade their worst player or the player that isn't performing well for a better player on another team. So that's again why you never see it. And I think now more than ever, though, you're seeing that's why you're seeing a lot of challengers players get picked up. They'll sign for the minimum. They'll come on and play. If they're a bust, you just get rid of them. If they're great, awesome. You made a great deal out of it. But I think overall, it's really hard to make mid-roster decisions or mid-season, sorry.
Wow, I feel like I like to make things simple, and I would just think that if I'm on one of these teams and, I feel like, and I could be wrong here, but I feel like when there's so much money involved and contracts involved and understanding how careers literally change in front of you, whether or not you're on a team or not, it probably makes it a lot harder to have these conversations, even though they're necessary. But I don't know, man. Like,
there's a lot of factors to it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I just think that it's not a one-person decision. You have to get a lot of people on board with it, right? So you got to get everyone to agree and buy into whatever the move is going to be. So I think that if I was a GM in the offseason making a roster, I feel like it would be very easy for me to make one, to be honest with you guys. Even without money, like, I feel like I could field a team in challengers that could easily win in the league and do very well. Like, I don't know, maybe just having that perspective of going into challengers and being here for a year and getting to see everybody and seeing like who's really next up and who's actually overrated or just trash. Like, I feel like I've seen it all at this point, and there's definitely players that are in this challengers pit that can not only win in the league and thrive in the league, but become the next face of the league. So I just think that teams need to do a little bit more research with challengers, and they'll be fine. But I think a lot of these GMs right now are currently looking at it very traditionally, and I think that it's going to start changing. Like, I think challengers is very valuable, and I think there's going to be a bigger emphasis on it moving forward.
Yeah, I agree with you for sure. You see it all the time now, like all these players getting picked up from challengers, like with teams that are struggling. We've seen it like the past couple years, and then this team just like improves and they start frying. So, I mean, there's obviously a lot of talent in challengers. A lot of these kids are hungry and they're working really hard to, make it to the pro level. So, that's what it is.
Perfect.
And I just want to say real quick, thank you, Doug. And Doug Censor Martin, of course. I got to say the full name.
Oh, man, Brian.
And my guy Slacked coming in. Thank you guys for being here, man. It was a ton of fun. And thank you to the chat for showing up and being here. All of you guys, we really appreciate you guys coming in, enjoying the show with us. And thank you to LAG. We'll be doing this again for the next major, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Take care,
everybody.